If you've been on the internet for more than 14 seconds, I'm sure you've seen the screeching comments in the videos. Ah, but tanks are irrelevant now due to the drone threat. All these aggressively stupid comments about how tanks are completely irrelevant now. Tanks are not completely irrelevant. Drones, while they are a threat, don't get me wrong, many of the drones that are hitting these tanks, sometimes it'll take 15, 20 drones to even disable the damn tank. Some of the tanks that you'll see cherry-picked footage where the hatches are open and the crew has evacuated a tank because the tank ran over a mine, and the tanks that you do see explode, those are those T-Series tanks, which have a really unique feature that as soon as the tank is penetrated, because they store their ammunition exposed in the hull, the turret becomes a jack-in-the-box and turns into a giant lollipop and goes into outer space. It's part of the new space program. It's very unfortunate that that design is out there, but hey, they're still in use. They're still running those things around. They're modernizing them. You've got the T-80 BVM. You've got the T-72B3 OBR 2025 at this point. It's ridiculous, but they're still out there. They're still being used, albeit more in an indirect fire capacity. However, in the Ukrainian side, you're seeing tanks being disabled by mines. Sometimes they will get lucky shots with drones and disable the tanks. The crews will, those tanks are generally more survivable, and then they'll hop out. But not before most times the tanks are actually getting some really good main gunfire on the areas that they are going to engage. Also understand that in the Ukraine war, you're not seeing a heavy use of combined arms that would be prevalent in a Western conflict. So say U.S. Army, British Army, French, German Army, they all get into a large-scale conflict. There is a use of combined arms that we're not currently seeing in Ukraine, and this is a kind of due to the decentralized nature of the command structure of Ukraine. It's not an over-criticism, it's just the situation right now. They're also dealing with a severe manpower shortage, so that kind of goes to it as well. But overall, the era of the tank is not dead. As a new technology comes out, so too shall come a new technology to counter that threat, whether it be drone guns, whether it be large-scale jammers, whether it be microwave systems, laser point defense systems, shotguns, whatever that technology comes out to be, there will be a technology to counter it, also including different settings for the APS, the Trophy APS, Active Protection System, and derivatives thereof. There is continuously evolving technology, and now it's kind of up to the defense industry to innovate to the point where it becomes affordable, because these things cannot just be a multi-million-dollar system you put on top of an already multi-million-dollar system. It has to be affordable and scalable, that in a way that really allows the military to focus on procuring these systems and not just saying it's no longer financially feasible. Now, that is a whole nother consideration and conversation to go into another video, but these are some of the things to think about when you're like, oh, tanks are going to continue to persist because they are the premier choice of direct fire infantry support. They are the premier choice for direct fire, large caliber engagement on the battlefield. Are ATGMs useful? To a point, but they're not as highly mobile necessarily or protected as tanks. I mean, the ATGM Striker just simply is not a feasible solution to instead of having Abrams tanks. Even with APS, it's just not that great of a solution. Now, I understand that there are also considerations for infrastructure. Can the terrain support the tanks? Or are the tanks going to destroy the bridges because they're too damn heavy? That's also a consideration, and I think future iteration of the M1 Echo 3 or the latest iteration of the Abrams is going to take some of that into consideration as well, with developing a lighter version of that tank. Also, that I believe that many other vehicles going forward are going to be able to be a little bit lighter as well, due to new technologies and advancements since 1980s when this thing was first introduced into the general public. There's been a lot of advancements since then. I realize that the M1 A2 SEP V3 is also the heaviest tank that we've fielded in mass, so that is also a consideration. But there is going to be a lighter tank. FPV drones, they are a menace, but they are not the end-all, be-all. Recently at Fort Bliss, the wonderful folks out there and one of the new prospective contractors tested a minigun system for the loader to try and shoot drones out of the air. Now, that is an interesting thing in theory, but also remember when you're dealing with combined arms, you've got infantry on the battlefield, you've got a lot of potential for collateral damage. If you have your loader, moving the minigun over to the side, what about Bravo Company that's like 3 clicks over that way that is within the SDZ for that freaking the bullets to fall out of the sky? All of a sudden they're having to deal with the remnants of rounds coming down from that minigun that didn't hit the drone. So that's something to also think about as well. Collateral damage is a very big thing. I prefer, although the technology is not quite mature enough, I like the idea of direct energy weapons. Think of phaser arrays from the USS Enterprise and Star Trek, where they had just little phaser strips that would shoot off lasers and shoot these things down. I like that technology. Microwave, there's a lot going into microwave. There's a lot that I'm not going to be able to discuss on the internet yet, and there's just a bunch of other stuff that is currently being fielded. I mean, there's drone guns, and those who've used drone guns know about drone guns. And the limitations thereof, and the capabilities thereof as well. So I don't think that tanks are ever going to go away, not at least in the foreseeable future. There will be future iterations of it. Is there going to be supplements of that? Is there going to be a lighter fighting force? Like, are we going to have weasels kind of augment the armored force? Maybe, but that's ultimately up to the big brains who run the Pentagon, not some random guy on YouTube.